start. We are born again. Open your heart. Spend this time in your head.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Girlfriends Hangout. First time ever getting several of us together to just hang out and gab like we like to do. So we're going to talk about everything that we can think of, and just about anything is most stuff. Yeah, some stuff. No, all stuff. Yeah, really. Okay. So guys, welcome. Janet, Lindsay, and Neely. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm assuming this
Thanks for having us.
I'm assuming it's going to go over pretty well. So we're going to do it again. Yeah. So how are you?
Be reserved on it.
We're all talkers.
Right? We're all talkers. I know, right? The question is, who wins? So how are you guys?
I know I've already got like a filter on, to be honest, because I can tend to take over things without even knowing I'm doing it. And so since it's not edited, I'm gonna pull the reins on myself a little bit.
Lindsay's like, this is my channel.
You'd think that all
It's
of us
not on
YouTubers
purpose.
would be talkers, but I'm actually not. So I'll just like sit here quietly and let you guys all do the talking. YouTube is great because I can talk alone in my house.
Yeah.
And then put it out. I have a lot harder time talking to people. So
Yeah, in a group setting, I usually sit back and I'm just like,
that's
so
me.
I do the same thing. So Janet and Lindsay are going to have a fabulous conversation, and Neely and I are going to observe.
I know.
Well,
I think it's just being around my husband, because usually if Jimmy is here though, I'm the one that sits back and just is like, because he's got to be the center of attention. So when I get my time alone on YouTube and I'm alone with friends, then I am, because I'm like, I can finally buy a vowel without Jimmy sitting next to me.
What are the odds of him coming in?
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, I mean, he's welcome to come onto the channel and talk too.
Oh no, he's working. Thank God. I got rid of him.
So we'll see how many interruptions we get too, because we've got how many children between all four households?
I got 3.
4 at home right now.
I've got 4 here. So we're 8, 9, 10, 11.
I might be showing my age, but I have one that's in college and she's gone to school right now. So my other one,
You just got a head start, Janet. That's all. You got the head start on us.
We're
I
not
feel
even
so
counting the
old.
pets. There's probably like 10
Yeah.
pets between all of us.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I've
was
got
gonna say
0.
we have
We
3
travel
pets.
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got, I don't know, would you consider my chickens and my emus and my turkeys and my ducks pets?
Hey, if we're
Well,
counting
they
chickens,
require
I think
care.
Neely's
They
got
require
it like
care.
covered.
If they can get into your office, then we have to count them as pets.
Oh, then nothing. Then I have nothing. 'Cause
Fine,
my
I think we're
office-
good.
Yeah, my office is up in my bedroom and none of the animals are allowed upstairs. So then never mind. I don't have any pets. I'm
Okay.
good.
That's good.
Oh my gosh. So let's see. What should we talk about first? There's so many things to talk about. Neely, what is your newest recipe that you're working on? I have to know.
What is like I am
Yeah,
constantly
I
in a
know.
state of having like 5 or 10 recipes that I'm working on, and like I'll get really excited about one and work on it, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to share this, and then it doesn't quite like pan out perfectly exactly, and then I forget about it, and then maybe like a month or
Yes.
2 later I like go back to it and then perfect it. So anyways, the one that I was working on yesterday, and I think I'm gonna be releasing a short or reel of, is protein parfait. It turned out really
Ooh.
good, and it's
Yum.
like Jello pudding. It's a play on Anita from Ketogenic Woman, her recipe for lime pudding, and I put like whipped cream and berries on top. Oh my gosh,
What?
so good.
Yum.
I know. It's
I
for the
love it.
people, you
Listen,
know.
The dairy and I have had a problem. My husband's birthday was this past week, and I made him a key lime pie with the heavy cream. And I was like, I'll have a sliver. I'll have a sliver celebrating my husband. That was like a spiral down, because then I had a baby shower that my friend and I held for one of our other friends who's having her first baby. and we had someone bring charcuterie, and on that was this ginormous wheel of brie. And I was like, I mean, I'm
Yum.
celebrating my friend and her baby. I'm not gonna turn this down. And so the brie happened, and then we got to take home the brie because the husband loves the brie. And then all of a sudden we've got the whipped cream dispenser that's full of cream instead of my in the works dairy-free cream recipe for the whipped cream machine. And I'm just like, all I'm doing is all the dairy all the time. And I feel the inflammation. I feel it in my rings. And I'm like, this is no good. What is going on here? And I'm like, but there's still brie. How do you?
Yes.
I
So
cannot
when I
turn down dairy. I can't. It's just I have to have it every day.
I was with you, Janet, for a long time, and then Neely decided to do the things, and then I'm like, I can't. And then she was like, just give it time. And then all of a sudden, here we are.
And
yeah, so yesterday I made that recipe and I was like, for the video, like I eat it without whipped cream, you know,
Sure.
normally, but for the video, I'm like, this is going to take it over the top. And so normally this goes into like the diet experiment I'm doing right now and stuff, but normally I can take a bite of something that's, you know, not on my plan and it doesn't derail me. But I'm doing this experiment right now where I'm eating lower fat during the day and only eating a higher fat meal in the evening. And I'm going to be talking about this on my next Wellness Wednesday. I don't know when that'll come out, you know, in relation to this, but I'm finding that it's kind of messing me up actually. And so yesterday in the afternoon when I was making this video, I was like, I'm just going to take one bite, you know, because you have to scoop it out for the video and everything. And I took a bite, and usually that's no problem for me and I can just move on with my life. But it like hit that trigger. So I like ate all of that. And then it's like, there's whipped cream. So I'm totally with you on the whole dairy thing right now.
Oh,
And I'm actually gonna put a stop to my experiment right now because I was like, that's not how I like my brain to work, you know? It's like normally that's not how it is. And so that was a big wake-up call. But yeah, I'm feeling the inflammation from the dairy yesterday, but I'm back off of it now.
Yes. Today, all I did was beef and eggs and coffee, black coffee. And I'm like,
for breakfast. Yeah.
wow, you guys,
That's the best way to get back on
it's
track.
amazing.
I'm still
Always
eating dairy.
Yeah, I'm in awe. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I eat dairy still. I'm like, I don't know if I could do that challenge, and I'm not one for challenges. I did the OMAD as a challenge in February, and it was like the worst thing ever. And I'm just not that challenge type of person. I think that was my first challenge ever. And I just feel like I explained in one of my videos that sometimes I feel like challenges are discouraging. Honestly, like I feel like they're discouraging because you work yourself up. Like if I would have taken clips from the beginning of that month, like in February, to my last update month at the end of February, like my mood was totally opposite because I was so eager to start and I'm going to do this OMAD and I'm going to see some drastic change. And then the last day I was like, wah, wah, wah. Like, so I don't think challenges are for me as much as I would love to. I'm positive that no dairy in my diet would have a lot of benefits, but there's already a lot of things that I can't have with my allergies that I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
If I have dairy, you know, I can't have almonds or any sort of nuts. I can't have any fish or anything like that with my allergies. So I'm just going to continue having dairy.
Yeah, I stick with the dairy because I undereat so easily. The video I just put out, I have to be intentional about tracking to make sure that I get in enough, because if I listen to my hunger cues, I'll stop at less than 1,000 calories every single day and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
I will stop at like 3,500 and be like, where's the next meal?
I'm with you.
So I keep the dairy because it makes everything taste better and it makes me want to eat more of it.
Yeah.
And
You
so
need
for
that
me, it's a
addictive quality.
tool. Yeah. And
Yeah.
finding out where you have to exist. And yet we can all get along. Imagine that.
Exactly. Look at that. Hey, who would have thought?
I know, right? I love someone goes, but who's right?
Nobody's right.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it works for us.
Yeah.
And that's good enough.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
And
But people don't want that.
No,
People
I know they
really
don't.
want you to give them the answer so that they don't have to do the work to figure out what their body is telling them. They just
Mhm.
want the quick fix, and that's where the rub is.
Isn't
That's where I
it-
have to learn that block button, you guys. Right? I got to do that. And I still haven't used it.
Liking you,
I don't know.
blesses me.
That video was epic. I'll have to link that up. So if anyone wants to see that video, it's worth a watch about blocking people and how much it blesses us. So I'll
Yeah.
I was still on Instagram whenever she put that video out. I saw that thing and I almost peed myself laughing so hard.
It's been out for a while and I hadn't seen it till my husband showed it to me and I was like dying.
I never seen it either.
I want to like link it to all the comments like that are nasty.
Yeah.
Just put it under the comment and then block them after they
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, be forewarned, everybody.
Your opinion doesn't matter.
Preach.
Preaching to the choir here.
Definitely.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
Although
my
I
God.
tend to take that attitude about most things in general. I have a very rebellious nature, but I'm also like, you do what you're going to do. I'm going to go this way. I don't care what you say. And so when you were talking about the challenge thing, Janet, that to me is also a struggle. Like whenever I say, okay, I'm going to do these things, like I'm going to try to focus on these things. So I have to use very specific rhetoric with myself. Otherwise I'm like, Lindsay, no, that's a cute idea. But as soon as you put a little regulation on me, I'm like, I'm out. I'm not doing it. Lindsay, don't weigh in for a week. No, you're not the boss of me.
Yeah.
Lindsay, stop eating cheese. No.
Yeah. I think that's
Not
with
happening.
a lot of people though, too. Once you start putting like restrictions on things, you know,
I think people tend to be more obligatory. Like, oh, someone's counting on me. I want to be accountable to somebody. Somebody else is expecting me to show up today. I'm going to do it for them. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I will live off him out.
You can't fake me.
No. And it's hard, especially for my husband. We pray a lot for him.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, all the husbands.
Oh gosh.
We should probably put them all on a Zoom call just so that they can support one another.
Oh my, yeah. They need their own support.
Really? Like, no.
As long as no one else watches it.
Oh my gosh, can you
My
imagine?
husband's out too. He's like, I don't want to have anything to do with what you're doing. I don't want to be involved. Do your thing, but don't let it cut into our family time.
That's
so for me, like
that's Jimmy. Yeah,
the
that's
YouTube thing is
Jimmy.
100% hobby. It's never going to be a full-blown business for me, and I've never approached it that way. And the husband always says, I just your first and foremost thing is here, and then whatever you do hobby-wise, that's great. Just don't drag me into it. But his hobbies, I always get dragged into.
Yeah,
but his hobbies are a lot of fun.
Me too. I was never a hunter until I met Jimmy, and now all of a sudden it's like now I'm a hunter, and you know we provide meat for ourselves. And when I came into this relationship, I'm like, yeah, my dad hunted, but all of a sudden I'm dragged into this hunting scenario, and that's what I do. But when it's my hobby, then Jimmy doesn't want anything to do with it other than like have his commentary and everything that on my videos. So would laugh like, geez, it's just a joke to him. I'm like, no, this is professional, Jimmy. Like, let's keep it on the down low. Remember, no swearing, no nothing. Like, let's keep this like PG, even G. I don't even know if Jimmy can do that, but
this TV 7.
Yeah, mine's the total opposite. Mine's like, so what are you doing today? What are we going to talk about? What is it? I'm like, Kimosabi?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you should make a whole bunch of videos ahead of time. And I'm like, that's not the way this works, because guess what? By the time I release them, I'm going to be irrelevant. That ship will have sailed and it will have been passed. So literally a lot of the videos lately, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do today. And then I'll get a DM or my cousin will text me or call me and ask me a question. I go, that's what I'm going to do today. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes that's how it works for ideas, right? Like sometimes I have nothing, and then it just like, then other times I have so much information that I can't even keep up with the content that I want to put out. It's either like all or nothing. There's no in between that I'm like, okay, this is my content calendar, which I have ideas, but then when it comes to recording day, it's like, nah, I don't want to do that.
You have to do what you're passionate about.
Yeah. The calendar idea is something I've never been really able to do. I have to fly by the seat of my pants, or else it's just going to come out all cattywampus, and then I overanalyze everything and I'm like, this is a waste of time. I'm out.
Oh my
And
gosh,
sometimes it works out that way too, but it's like if I have ideas, then I like to write it out for the month, but those will change. I don't stick to
Sure.
my content calendar, but
Yeah,
sometimes
I
they-
always
Calendar's a restrictor for me.
I always
Yeah.
have a list of ideas like on
Yeah.
the
Yep.
side of my calendar for the month. And maybe at the end of the month, I've done a third of them. And then the other
Mhm.
ones, I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore.
That's exactly
Like,
what
it's a
I
great idea, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that's exactly how I work it too. And then, or else it's not even on my calendar content, like for the month. It's just an idea that I get that pops into my head, or
Mhm.
I adapt a recipe and go from there. But
Mhm.
it's kind of a good guide anyway. So I'm not like, oh crap, I have a video going up tomorrow and I haven't recorded a thing.
I do
That's
that
happened
almost.
too.
I do that almost every day, legitimately. Because when I get ahead, then I don't know. I'm so bad about it. My husband's like, "Come on, there's a calendar. Come right on it." And I'm like, "No, go,
No.
you go right on your calendar." No. So we're
Yeah.
always like at odds on it. And I think that's one of the reasons he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get a job." I'm like,
I can't wait to see what happens after he gets a job and how, you self-manage yourself, and it's going to be interesting, Amy.
You'll
Mhm.
see. Oh my gosh. He helped so much getting the Mighty Network set up. He did all of the initial stuff, setting it all up. He did all of that. And now, once we got sick with that weird stomach bug, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that's over. But he still hasn't really recovered from it. Like, he is exhausted. So I've taken over everything because I've needed to. And now it's like, okay, yeah, I can do this. Okay, yeah. And then homeschooling the kids next year, that's going to be interesting because I'm going to have 3 that are being homeschooled, and 2 of them are going to be in the same curriculum, even though they're not in the same grade. The
Mhm.
concept is you teach this overlying lesson, and then based on what age they are, they do different projects for it. So that'll, at least 2 of them are combined, but then I got one that's in 1st grade. So that's a totally different curriculum for her. It'll be interesting. We'll
You'll be
see.
busy.
Oh,
Does anybody else homeschool? Lindsay or Neely? Do you?
Both of
Oh, you
them.
all do. That's so
Mhm.
interesting.
I get a
don't
lot
know.
of help from my mom. She lives with us, and I
Mhm.
mean, we pretty much split 50-50 with the younger kids. So she's teaching
Okay.
a couple of them to read and stuff. So I can't take full credit. She does a lot.
That is
That's
fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah,
have
Good for
help.
you guys.
it worked out really well.
Oh, that's such an ongoing. I don't think I could do that. It was never like a thought that I had with my girls growing up to homeschool them. It was always like, get out of the house and go to school.
Both
Sound
my
like a
husband
horrible-
and I were homeschooled,
Oh.
and so it's like all we ever
Okay.
knew.
Natural.
And
Mhm.
like the thought of putting them in public school is like a foreign world to us. So it just made
Yeah.
sense.
I think it's just what you're used to and what you grew up doing, right? As well, right?
For sure.
Well, my husband and I both were public schooled start to finish, and then went on to state university start to finish. And whenever we got the positive pregnancy test with our oldest, 2 days after that, I was like, I feel like I'm supposed to homeschool this child. I don't know if it's a viable
Wow.
pregnancy, but I feel like I'm supposed to homeschool. And there was only one like extended relative who ever homeschooled their 2 children, and it was not a common practice. And my
Mhm.
sister is a public school teacher now, and she's like, I see a lot of value in what you're doing, but also like, what's wrong with the system? And I'm like, okay,
Oh,
well,
That's
I'm
another
doing what I feel
conversation.
led to do. That's all. And it's worked out really brilliantly for us. And because of my husband's work with him traveling and us being able to just like pick up and go wherever he is about, I don't know, 30% of the time, it's really worked out well for us. And the girls love being homeschooled. The bond between them is just unmatched. It's incredible to me just how much it fits our family. And, I've got all my nieces and nephews. They're all public schooled, and they all seem to be doing very well within their subset of a family. So it's like, whatever actually works for your family is what you actually need to do.
yeah. For us,
Yeah,
we
I
have
think
to
it
do
was-
it.
Yeah, I was
ahead,
gonna
Janet.
say, it's kind of like a different scenario maybe for everybody, because I think about the
Yeah.
Like I said, once again, I'm aging myself, but when my girls were little, I had them when I was 23 and 25. And then I became a single mom when my youngest was only 1 year old. So the girls were 1 and 3, they're 2 years apart. And it wasn't an option really to homeschool them. It's never a thought that I had as well, but I had to work. I had to work for the next 7 years before I ended up meeting Jimmy. And it was never an option because I worked full-time and I had a part-time job in order to make ends meet. And luckily I had a really good full-time job and made decent money with the oil field at that time. I missed out, with talking about homeschooling, I missed out on so much. Like my parents looked after my girls. My mom attended Mother's Day teas, they took them to their dentist appointments. I was never able to do that because I worked so much because I had to provide a living for the girls. And not that it was a high class of living, but it's still, as a single parent, that was the only income that I was receiving was from when I was working. So I was fortunate enough. My mom was a teacher and a librarian, and she did a lot of helping with the girls as far as schooling, because they stopped teaching cursive writing. They stopped reading from a clock, like an actual wall clock. And so like my mom was teaching them all of those sort of things that aren't even taught in the public school system anymore. And just a scenario of how it was for them growing up, I never had the opportunity to homeschool, or it wasn't a thought. But what do you do for socialization for the kids then? Like, is it siblings?
We do a homeschool co-op. And so
okay.
like 1 day a week, they're all together. And then we also have ballet classes and soccer, and so they have plenty of socialization.
Okay, I didn't know there was like a co-op sort of thing. That's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of different co-op options because homeschooling is very popular, especially in the area we are in the Pacific Northwest. So there are a lot of options for homeschoolers now. Back when I was being homeschooled, it was even more weird than it is now. But even then we had our own little homeschool group with like 4 or 5 families, and we would all get together, and there are ways.
I feel like it's becoming more popular. Like actually one of my coworkers homeschools, and it was just everything that's happened. She was like, no, I'm just going to homeschool my son. And it has been the best thing for both of them, for the son and the mother. It has been amazing.
For us, so right now, 2 of them are going to an online school, and next year they're going to be homeschooled because they're my stepkids. They go back and forth between mom's house and our house, where they're doing an online school. And because 2 states, they're 6 months in Missouri and 6 months with us in Wisconsin. Well, one of the things that is really, I'm not going to miss it, let's just put it that way, whenever these children have projects to do, because the children do not do the projects. The parents do the project.
Yeah.
Like the 8-year-old was supposed to cook something out of this book. Of course, everything's flour and sugar and popcorn, and we don't have any of that stuff. So my 8-year-old wouldn't know how to separate the egg white and then, beat the egg white and then not mix in the yolk until this certain step. And it's like, so guess who had to do the project? Of course, it's me. And I will not miss that at all. So in order for him to get credit, I had to do something. And I even emailed the teacher and I was like, we don't have any of this stuff in this book in this house. So is there anything else? Like, what is the purpose of this lesson? Because I'm sure I could find something else for him to cook that he would be able to
appropriate.
That would help teach him whatever it is that you're going for. And the response was, oh, I'm sure there's something that'll work for you.
Oh no.
So I ended up making a single serving of, it was like bird pudding or something, like bird's nest pudding. That's what it was in this book. And I converted it to keto, right? So it's an apple. You take this apple, you have to core the apple, skin the apple, stuff it with brown sugar and nutmeg. So of course, brown swerve and nutmeg. And then you have to take an egg. Well, it's supposed to be like 6 eggs, but I did a single serving. So you take an egg, you separate out the whites and the yolks, you beat the whites to stiff peaks, and then you do the yolk with milk and flour and sugar. So I did all of it. I made this one little single serving, and then my husband and the other child ate it because he doesn't like baked apples. He's like, no. So then the other child ate it, and they both went, that was not fantastic. So I'm very much.
Did you learn something?
Yeah, that I
did.
Don't
you
like.
Learn something?
Oh my gosh.
Did the child learn something? Did anyone learn anything?
No, he was like, do you want me to help you? And I was like, bud, I'm going to be honest with you right now. I would like for you to go into the other room and go play with your sister because I'm a little grumpy about this and I don't want to take it out on you. And so he goes, you got it. Walks out of the room. I was like, go keep your sister happy. So I did it. It was disgusting. Nobody wanted to eat it. It went into the trash can. And so I was like, I'm not going to miss. It just solidified that I want to homeschool these kids because tell me the purpose of the lesson. I guarantee you I can find some way to make it applicable to our family because everything was beans and rice and I don't have any of that. And there was no respect on like what I was asking for. So it was that was my final, nope, I don't care how much work I have to put into it. They're homeschooled.
Well, going back to talking about schooling options and what works best for you, I feel like it's exactly the same as what we were talking about with diet. It's like you have to take into consideration the context of the person and what is the right choice or the only choice or the best choice for one person could be completely different from somebody else.
And that's exactly what we just discussed right here.
Exactly.
You know? And we can and we're still getting along.
Yeah.
Even homeschool.
I mean, maybe y'all are, but
but even homeschool curriculums, there's innumerable amounts of homeschool curriculums out there. Yeah. And just because you homeschool, just because you're keto, doesn't mean you all eat the same. Doesn't mean you teach the same. It's across the board. There is no one size fits all. Yeah. And
but that's the whole thing. Everybody's looking for that
magic pill
secret. Yeah. That magic pill. Like I get so many questions. What is your secret all the time? Like when I hit my goal weight years ago and I was like, there is no secret. Like, this is what I did. And then I tell them what I did and then they bash me for it.
Yeah. Or I tried that and it didn't work.
Yeah, you asked me what I did and what my secret was, and I'm telling you how I lost over 100 pounds. But now you're saying like I could never do that. I need my carbs. Okay, well then I'm just telling you what I did and what worked for me.
Yeah, it's so hard, and
so hard.
Taking responsibility for your journey. Do not get sucked into someone else's journey. And do not let other people get sucked into yours. And like, oh, if you just come with me and do exactly what I do, because we've got so many huge names out there. Like, I mean, Maria Emmerich, she does the high protein, the PSMF, not that she does it personally, but that's what she promotes. And then we've got other people on the other side of the equation who are doing super high fat. And everyone's preaching and proposing what worked for them. And until you try it for yourself, you're never going to know what works for you.
No, it's trial and error for everybody. I'm sure for all four of us, I guarantee you all four of us has done it differently to reach our goals, you know, and it's still works. You know, the outcome is all still the same, right?
Except for me and Neely, we just twin all the time.
I know we're the same person. We've said so. Yeah.
But you don't know.
Yeah. And I tried the high protein and I feel horrible. My mental state plummets every time. I will end up waking up in the morning and just crying for no reason. I'll just start crying. And so it's like, I can't do the high protein. I have to do the higher fat.
And that's me. Sure. That's me too. See, Amy and I are the same. So there you go.
We're twinning.
Well, I was going to say probably if we, went into the future and looked at our diets 2 years from now, they're all going to be different than they are currently too. Like, it's not like we just find the perfect diet and we stay on it forever. It changes. I mean, our bodies change, our lifestyle changes, our desires and priorities. And just like, homeschooling versus public school in a different, context, maybe I would choose a different schooling option for my kids. Like maybe in a different context, I'd choose a different diet option for my life.
Yeah. Right. And a lot of people do that when they reach their goal. Like I get a lot of comments on my videos about that with trying to lose my last 15 pounds and trying to find that balance. And, everybody's like, well, you need to up your calories. Oh, you need to like morph into the American Standard Diet. with implementing like the
hard
carbs
pass.
and everything. And I'm like, yeah,
Tried
where's
that.
that block button? Like, and I'm like, that doesn't work for me right now. I'm,
Ooh.
you know, I don't know how to tell this stranger that's commenting on my channel that doesn't work for me. Like, I can't do that right now in my life. Maybe like Neely said, maybe in a year from now, maybe I can do a reverse diet and, you know, kind of mend my metabolism, but I just can't do that right now at this moment. But I get a lot of those comments. I get a lot of those comments on my videos. So I don't know about you guys, if you receive those kind of comments or what you say and do, but
I was gonna say about, 6 or 8 months ago, if you watch my Wellness Wednesdays from back then, I was like, I'm not going dairy free. I'm not ready for that. That's not something that I'm interested in right now. Maybe sometime in the future. And then now here I am dairy free. So it's like,
yeah,
Same.
what's in front of you at the moment and see where you end up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get a
And
lot
that's
of those
just it.
comments where people are like, oh yeah, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. Sometimes I will respond to them and say, I tried that, this is what happened. And
Mhm.
sometimes I just give it a heart and I move on. And I
Yeah.
gotta tell you guys, that's why I brought the carbs back in, because a bunch of people were saying, I was talking about my hair thinning, and they were like, oh, well, you got to bring carbs back in to stop that from happening. You're one of those people who needs carbs. So I went with the cleanest carbs possible, all organic fruit, and then honey, local Wisconsin honey from flowers only, no corn syrup honey. Oh my gosh, that was horrible.
Yeah.
I have not, like, I felt the depression and the anxiety. It was terrifying. I was literally shaking because I could feel myself slipping down that slide, that slippery
Exactly.
slope again. So
Yeah,
I
and that's how
stopped
I
that
feel.
immediately. And then someone came back with, oh, Amy's all over the place. Amy's eating carbs and now she's off of carbs. She can't make up her mind. And I'm like, that's the point.
Yeah.
You can't make up your mind. You try something, you see if it works. If it works, you stick with it until it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And
And
then you
that's
change it up again.
It's still trial and error, no matter if you're starting at your weight loss journey or you're at your goal weight to find that maintenance balance, or you have 10 pounds to lose or whatever, it's still trial and error. Because what worked for me when I was 240 pounds doesn't really work for me right now. You know what I mean? It's different from everybody's stages of your viewers. You know, we don't know where our viewers are at in their weight loss journey. And I can't say what they need to do because they're all individuals and they all have different needs. Clean keto, no dairy, like, you know, I don't know what works for everybody. And I just know I don't know where, I'll be honest, I don't know what works for me. I'm trying to figure it out. Just like you said, Amy, like we're all still trying to figure it out.
Got a comment from somebody just the other day saying, you know what you really need to do is read Wheat Belly and give up all grains and sugar.
And you're like, could you go back on my channel
God,
7 years ago?
Yeah. I was like, you're new around here, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm glad you caught up. Thank you for that wisdom.
If I had only known.
Oh my gosh.
Those comments, because then I'm like, I've got the video for you to check out, and it's me from a year ago. It's me
Exactly.
from
Do
3
that.
years ago. Let
Yeah,
me show you this journey. And I know people don't have the time to go through and start back at the beginning and then make it all the way to the current day. I understand that
But
entirely.
that person, they didn't even watch that video. Like
Right.
they couldn't even watch the one video, and because there's no way. Anyways,
But I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll go back and I'll snag my video and I'll go like
Mhm.
this, and then I'll link the video, and then I don't hear from them anymore.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's bizarre.
So weird. It's like better than block. I gotta tell you. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's been quite the journey. I love when people try to tell us what to do. So much
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. No, that's so much
I
fun.
still get questions about Trim Healthy Mama, since that's kind of where the start was. And even just like I finally caught up on my comments, because I tend to ignore them until the last possible second, not because I want to, but just because it's a low totem pole item. And somebody said, so why did you stop doing THM? And I'm like, well, let me answer this question. Here's my copy paste answer. I just keep that stored on the notes tablet on my computer screen, so I can just plop
Yep.
And
I get that question a
good
lot too.
time. Like,
Mhm.
well, it just wasn't right for me at this time. It could be very good for somebody else out there. And you enjoy that journey. I'm
Mhm.
gonna hang it right here and dance in this room while I know that
glad-
it's good for me.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one that has the prefabbed answers in the notes.
Yep.
app.
You gotta
Yeah.
do
Oh,
I
it.
have
yeah.
like 5 of them. I thought,
I
is
gotta
this
start
wrong?
doing that. Because
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. People are just like, all of us get new subscribers on a daily basis and they're just watching our most current video. And
Sure.
these are the ones that are always like, well, you need to try this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, I have tried this, this, and this. So I need to
And this
start
and this
linking.
and this and this and this and this.
Yeah, exactly. I need to do a video of all the things that I've tried is what I need to do and have that in my notes to just copy and paste. Okay, I have tried that. Please resort to this video.
Yep.
Well, and I find that most of the times whenever I go live, I will kind of give a 3-minute dissertation on I started off doing this thing and then this thing and then this thing and then this thing and then this thing. And I feel super repetitive doing that. But I also think that I know nobody has seen all of my videos. That's just not reality. And it feels very old for me, but maybe that one person who might have had the question, well, did you try sprouting your grains before you eat them? Well, as a matter of fact, I did. Thank you,
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah. And that's what I find I do as well, like at the beginning of my videos, and it feels so
Right.
repetitive, but you're getting new subscribers that are just watching you and don't know your story. And so I try
Right.
to put like a short little intro of, kind of where I've come
Right.
from to where I am now. It seems, I hear
Mhm.
you, it seems repetitive, but it probably is really helpful for new subscribers.
I
for
find
sure.
I do that with the egg bread videos where I'm like,
Yes.
I know that they're going to ask if you can use something other than allulose. I know that
Yeah.
they're going to ask
Yes.
if egg white protein powder is the same as egg white powder. It's like, so I answer all of those questions like in the video.
That is so
Well,
true.
I failed on my most recent doing the chocolate ice cream. I was like, I should have said, use coconut milk if you want to use coconut milk. Use this if you want to use this.
Mhm.
Substitute whatever you want to substitute out. And so I'm
Yeah.
going through and I'm answering all the questions, and I'm like, this was a misstep on my part.
Yeah.
And
And a lot of
I
people have
am
those questions. You're using a certain kind of milk, and they're like, well, ask in the comments, you'll get like 5 comments. Can I use this type of milk? Yes, you can use any type of milk. You don't think of saying that in the video just
Well,
because,
and I have
It's
do
so
think that-
hard when people like you put so much work into creating a recipe and then you
Yeah.
get 20 comments like, can I substitute this out? Can I use this instead? I can't have this because I'm allergic to it. And you're just like, I just did all of this work to
literally.
create this recipe. And you're
Yeah.
just
Well, and-
asking me to do more work and create
Exactly.
more recipes. No.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
I
say I
know-
don't have time to try all those recipes if it's gonna work
No.
or not. I'm
And
sorry.
I always say, I haven't tried it, but if you try it, let me know how it turns out.
Yeah,
And
that's
that usually
good.
works pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, and I've noticed too, a lot of people, like, I feel like the 4 of us here, we have sort of that ingenuity and that sort of reverse engineer heart to go through and say, ooh, can I do this thing? Yes, I'm going to give it a try, and then see what happens. And a lot of people out there, they just don't want to do that, or
Yeah.
they just don't have the expansive researching skills or the desire to research the things further. And it's like, well, why would I bother Googling something when I could just ask somebody else and they might
Yeah.
have experience with it? I get it. I totally do, because I do the same thing to my husband. Like, well, could I do da 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 da? And he's like,
It's
did
the
you
same
not
thing
look
with
at
the
it?
diet. They want us to tell them exactly the diet to follow
Yeah.
and
And
not
that's-
do the work of figuring it out themselves. Same thing. I think it's the
They
same.
want to know, and that's probably, Amy, the question that you got, like with us getting together on what we're eating. And it's like, that's exactly it. People want to know what we're all eating in order to be successful, but we're all eating differently. We're all eating different things on a daily
And-
basis to be successful.
But not only that, but what is your definition of success? My definition of success right now has nothing to do with the number on the scale. For me,
Right.
it's like to the point where I'm like, it's a cellular health level for me. And I want to make sure that, like, if my weight has not fluctuated a whole lot since I gave birth to our youngest. I mean, like, after I stopped nursing her, my weight was done. Like, I've just been hanging out and I don't care. My pants fit me better than they ever have. My skin has cleared up. I've got like all of these factors that I'm like, this is success for Lindsay. And
Mhm.
what's success for you might be totally different. And I cannot know
That's
what you
true.
really prioritize for your health or for a successful way of eating until you like peg that down. It's really difficult to say this is what you do. And
Absolutely. And that
also,
we're
I
all,
don't have a
yeah,
doctorate in anything.
and we're all eating differently for different reasons. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Right?
That's right.
And the
I
title.
do also want to give a shout out to all the people that are like us that watch our videos and either don't comment or comment kind things, because it's,
Yes.
you know, we rag on the commenters
Yes.
that, you know, ask for things or whatever, but there are so many people that watch our videos that
Yeah.
are into the reverse engineering, and they're learning, they're, you know, like, just like we have done, watch other people's journeys and take, you know, from here and there and figure out
Yes.
what works for us and what doesn't, and take it or
Yeah.
leave it. And there are so many people out there like that watching our videos. And I want to give a shout out to them because
Yes,
Yes.
they're
definitely.
my favorite.
Thank you, commenters.
Yes. Thank you
We
so
do
much for all
appreciate
the
you.
lovely comments.
That's where my lemon bundt cake came from, was from someone who did that, who took the strawberry donuts and said, you know what? I don't have keto chow. I don't have this. I'm going to try this. And she sent me a picture on Instagram of this lemon bundt cake. And it was like, flipping genius. So that's where I told her, I said, you know what? I'm going to, you know, feature this in a YouTube video to show what one of the, you know, the people came up with. You too can do this. Fantastic, wonderful thing. Experiment and have fun. And then let us know. And who knows, maybe we'll feature your recipe in one of our videos.
Yep.
How cool would that
Yeah.
be? But
We definitely the subscribers, the good outweigh the bad 100%. You know what I mean? Absolutely. There's so many fabulous subscribers that we all have. And I mentioned it in a lot of my videos for my channel. And, you know, they are absolutely amazing. I did a donation video and I took all of that income that I received from AdSense, and like everybody was like, did the super chats on that, like so many good quality, sincere, generous subscribers that we all have. And, you know, we're all thankful for those type of subscribers, 100%, you know, that's what keeps us going. And that's what keeps us wanting to put more content out there, is positive subscribers like that. So,
I mean, I just want to hear myself talk, honestly. So
we know you do.
and that's okay.
I'm teasing. No, maybe.
No. So one thing I wanted to ask you guys is, can you tell me, can you label how you're eating? Are you keto? Are you ketovore? Are you carnivore? We got to talk about the labels here. I figured I
Proper
would
human
ask
diet.
everyone, right? Are you proper human diet? Honestly, I tell people now I'm an amivore.
Yeah.
And I eat what is proper for me. My children and my husband do not eat the same thing that I eat.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think about all the labels, the hyper carnivore, I mean, all of it? What do you think?
I'm a coffeevore.
I agree.
All the coffee, all the time. It's a struggle for me when I do what I eat in a day videos, because I'm like, I don't want to show people another cup of coffee, so I'm not going to have another cup of coffee. I really want that next cup of coffee. And it's black coffee, so it's clearly healthy.
Yeah. I commend you for drinking black coffee. Oh my gosh. I wish I could do that. That's, you know what? I really want to do that. How did you, or have you always just been a black
So,
coffee?
okay,
Sorry
so
to change the subject, Amy.
Tangent for the
Yeah.
coffee conversation here. I used to drink a little coffee in my creamer. My mom in love, my husband's mom, she taught me how to drink coffee when I was 24 years old. Never liked the stuff before that. And it was a whole pile of creamer and a wee bit of coffee and a lot of sugar. And then whenever I have TMJ disorder, and so I had to go on a liquid diet. So I was putting protein in my coffee for a little while because that was the only thing I could do at that time. And so I started using a little bit less creamer. And then whenever 2016 hit and I learned about THM, I was like, oh, I can use heavy cream and sweetener for the coffee thing. So it just sort of like was a natural progression from like coffee milk down to black coffee. But even just like a year ago, I was sitting there putting, 2 to 3 tablespoons of heavy cream in my coffee and nothing else. But my husband one day said, I think I'm gonna step back from the cream for this cup of coffee. I feel like I'm getting a little squishy, and I think I need to cut out these extra calories. They just don't do anything for me. And I was like, anything you can do, I can do better.
It became a competitive thing.
Well,
Nice.
and that's the whole thing. Like almost anything between us, he's like, I say, I've got this idea, and I'm an idea person, and he's like, yeah, you're not going to be able to do that. And I'm like, watch me, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be amazing at it. And
that's so good. That's so good. I wish that I could go to black coffee, definitely, but I'm keto. I'm keto right now, and I've kind of been
great
keto for a while. So I don't know. It's just honestly, all the labels are so confusing.
Yeah, they are.
That's my problem. Well, and then some people, like, one definition of ketovore is totally different than another definition of, someone else's. And it's like, can we just stop labeling everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, and I say this in like all of my what I eat in a day videos and Wellness Wednesdays, repeated over and over again. But I say I'm a ketovore, and I take that to mean, so I'm like, this is my definition, high protein keto. So it's lower on the vegetables. I feel the best with little to no fiber, but I add in some just for fun. And then I'm also dairy free. I'm also nut free. But I base my meals around meat, protein.
Yeah.
That's basically what I am. But I was about labels. I was thinking about, I watched your video about, keto ruining my thyroid.
I watched that too.
Going around. And I was like, well, with the labels like that, it's like, that means nothing. When you say keto ruined XYZ, it doesn't mean anything, because there's 1.5 million ways to do keto, and a lot of them will probably ruin your health.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact, because you could label it keto and be eating all of the Atkins bars and shakes and nuts and dairy. And if you're someone who's sensitive to nuts and dairy, you're going to be a pile of inflammation.
Yeah.
You're going to be a mess. And so, like, when I see, they're great clickbait titles, like people are going to want to click on it, but like you have to have context, because I was thinking, I was like, well, I've done keto and I felt like I was less healthy when I came out of it too. That was, like 8 years ago when I did low protein, super high fat keto. And I was still eating, all the nuts and all the, almond flour, baked goods and stuff. And I was totally unhealthy. And I could have made a video back then, keto ruined my health. And it would have been totally honest.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, the labels it's so hard, because you want to communicate something. I mean, you need to say something about what you are, and you can't, put a whole paragraph in the title of your video.
Yeah.
But you have to have the context in there.
And that's just it. I did a video, it was a while ago, and the title was Keto Made Me Fat. And it was true. But it was clickbait, but it was also 100% true on how I was doing keto at that time, because it was a lot of like the Quest bars, you know what I mean? With the sugar alcohol, and the fiber, and like doing the net carbs. And that way of keto, which is still keto, was making me gain weight. So it literally was making me gain weight. So exactly how, even though I say I do keto, I stay away from the sugar alcohols. The coconut flour, I'm allergic to all nuts. So I do have coconut flour. I've stayed away from that now, because it does cause huge inflammation for me, which I never realized for a year. Once I started doing the protein sparing modified fast bread, that's what made me realize how sensitive I was to coconut flour. And you don't realize that with trial and error. Like, I never heard of the protein sparing modified fast bread, like, a year ago. So that's what I was doing with my breads or my pancakes. It was all coconut flour. And it's just learning along the way what works for you and what type of ketovore, everything else, right? And trial and error. We're going back to, it's trial and error for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a bunch of people in my Facebook group, and some of them are asking, what veggies are okay on keto. I actually had someone the other day come out and say, you need to find a keto group to be in. You don't belong here. I was like, I'm sorry, I am not a carnivore. nor do I promote that everyone in this group has to be a carnivore. And so, but because my title is Carnivore's Angel, it confuses everybody. And I'm like, but I'm the angel in the equation. I'm not the carnivore. So I'm really trying to get people to get away from those titles. And I mean, if you want me to be in a box, yeah, I would say, now see, I would call myself ketovore because I'm between keto and carnivore. I'm way more meat-based, but I'm also not high protein. I'm moderate protein. I get enough, like 100 to 115 grams a day, but that's it.
Well, some keto people would be super offended that you would call yourself keto and have 115 grams of protein in a day.
Yeah.
So how dare you be keto?
Yeah.
You're not keto. Gluconeogenesis.
Right? Gluconeogenesis. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the
Man,
title,
wasn't that the buzz phrase for like 4 years running? Gluconeogenesis is this thing. And it's like, you feel
And then it
super
was
intelligent
autophagy.
saying it. Oh my gosh, autophagy. Oh.
Yes, that was
autophagy.
huge.
That was a big word. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and Tammy from Keto in the Chaos, like she went through and she had done her autophagy attempt and nothing changed anything for her with like the skin and all of that stuff. And she had a pretty interesting take on the whole autophagy concept. And I'm thinking, I don't even know that I care enough anymore.
No, I just
Hold
don't
on
think
to all
it's
of
a
it.
thing anymore. Honestly, I just don't think it's a thing. No.
Yeah. It happens no matter what. And it's in the background and your body's going to do what it's going to do.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the biggest takeaway that people need to start understanding is patience. Your body is going to do
Oh yeah.
what it is. Lindsay, you are in a timeout. Go timeout, right? But nobody wants to be patient. We live in the time of Amazon where you click the button and 2 days later you have your product at the door. Your results are delivered immediately.
Yeah.
Unless you live in Alaska.
Unless you, they're up to
Or Canada.
When we lived in Alaska, it was like, 5 days. What is this?
Literally, that is me. It's like I signed up for Amazon Prime for what? Like
That's right. That's right.
anyways,
You get all
sorry.
those Prime videos. That's why.
You guys are
Yeah,
used to
literally.
not- you're okay. So you guys are used to getting your results in 5 days. I'm sorry. Still, nobody gets results in 5 days when you spent 30 some odd years making yourself sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope it doesn't take 30 years to correct, but you know
But
what?
people want
It
that
might.
instant fix, and it's not like that. And it never will be like that unless you're wanting to gain your weight back and more, or damage your health even more.
That's
You
true.
know what I mean? If you lose 20 pounds in a month, that's not sustainable in my eyes. I don't feel like that's sustainable. I don't know your opinions, but if you're losing that much in a month, that's crazy. That's a lot.
Yeah, unless you're just starting out keto or
Yes.
carnivore, and then you lose that
And
water
you have
weight.
a lot of weight to lose.
Yes,
Like
at the
that,
beginning.
Or if you're on Survivor, come on.
Right? Naked and afraid here, people. Naked and afraid. No, that's not. That's not. I'd rather not be naked or afraid. So I'm good.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lindsay.
it's gonna be a pass for me too.
Yeah.
I can see
Hard.
that.
It is.
I can totally see that.
It is
If you're
20
gonna be on
degrees
TV and
outside.
people like, hey, I know that girl.
Right? Hide, everybody hide. Maybe that's the way we should do for our thumbnail.
Oh
logo.
my gosh.
But, oh my gosh, there's so much more that I'm sure we could keep talking about.
Mhm.
We could go on forever, and we will have to do this again. So what I would like to ask everyone to do, all of the people who are watching, please drop comments down below and let us know what you want us to talk about next time. And we will attempt to stay on track for topics. So
No,
We
it's
didn't
gonna
even,
happen.
like, I feel like we didn't even really talk about anything. This went by so fast.
I know I've been on for an hour and 17 minutes. I was like, oh, I should probably stop the video here.
Children are
Maybe
probably
we'll make
down
this
there.
like a once a month thing.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
get together and just yak and talk. So let us know what you want us to talk about, or if you guys have any questions that you want to hear 4 different opinions on, and we will plan on making another video. So thank you so much, ladies, for coming and joining me. This was so much fun. We
So
will
fun.
Thanks for
having me.
hosting.
Yeah, we will definitely do it again. Maybe one of you will host it next time, and then everyone will have to go subscribe to your channel if they aren't already there.
That would
Sounds
be
like
fun.
work.
That sounds like
You just do
work.
it for me.
That would be fun. But yeah, we'll kind of leave that up to you, Amy, maybe. You're good at it. You got us all together within like not even a week, I think, when you emailed all of us.
Yeah, I think we figured out our timing in a day or two. So
It worked.
It
Yeah.
worked. It was
So
perfect.
thank you so much for organizing this. That was so much fun.
Oh my gosh. We have to put in some of this for the bloopers. You could be the naked and afraid contestant.
I cannot. No. Not gonna happen. Nope. It's a
Don't
no for
worry.
me.
We'll vote for you. Or do you even vote on that channel?
You
You
vote
don't
on
vote
me.
on that one.
I've never
No,
seen it.
I'll be on Survivor before I'll be on.
Okay,
Okay.
well, we can vote you off the island. It's fine.
What?
Oh my God.
We
You
literally
don't know how useful I am.
and I'm already picking on you.
The key
I can
is you
build
need,
things. I
your
can cook
husband needs to
things.
be on that show as well, though. Then it's a real competition.
We have considered Amazing Race at some point in our lives, and we realized we wanted to stay married.
True.
And that was more important.
Yeah.
Okay, the thumbnail. What are we doing for a thumbnail?
What do you guys
But
wanna
whatever
do?
y'all are doing, I'm doing something totally different because you can't put me in a box.
We're all gonna point at you.
That's why I'm
That's
gonna point at
so-
you because then you're not right.
That's what we're all going to be doing.
Right?
yeah.
Only I can only use one hand because I have to take the picture with the other hand. Give me oh my gosh, y'all.
Let's see this.
I
Share
was
the screen.
talking. Oh, this is epic.
Janie.
Give me a second. Hang on.
You're fired.
Oh wait, okay, go away. Picture, go away. Y'all, I look drunk. Hang on. I'm gonna pull it
Hey,
up.
that would be. that
Listen,
would be
it's
a
not
great
for us to
thumbnail.
judge you,
People would
Amy.
click on
It's
that.
not for us to judge you.
Guys,
my
that's
gosh.
what we need to do is a drink. Drink
Oh
and
my
sip
gosh.
like our next one.
Oh yeah.
Look at my
That's what we
face.
need to do.
Sure. I guess maybe I should.
I love it.
Kind of love the fact.
Oh my
Janet is
God.
the thumbnail queen. Seriously.
Oh my gosh. Now I have to stop crying. We're gonna retake that picture so I don't look like I'm drunk.
I mean, you're the only one judging you, Amy.
Exactly. We're okay with that.
I'm so glad that you guys are okay with your picture on that. That was epic. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Hopefully that one was better. We're gonna
Let
share.
us see. Let us see.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. No, that's the old one. No, that's
Does
the
Amy
old
look
one.
drunk? Take two.
I looked at it again. I'm like, how do I have the exact? Oh, because it's the same one. That's why. So special.
That's just how you always
were
look.
had by all.
Oh, okay. No, this is way better. No, this one's good. Hang on. Share screen.
All right.
There we go. I
Yeah.
don't know, Janet. What am I going to title it?
Look at me.
Guess who got voted off the
You
island?
got voted off the island.
That's a good one. Guess who got voted off?
I think that's
Yeah.
it. Guess who got
The
voted
tribe has spoken.
off?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so good. And this will all be in the. Sorry, you guys. You're going to be watching over an hour for the bloopers, but they were worth it.
Totally.
They love us.
Oh, right? This is probably too much fun.
No, no, this is just the right amount of fun.
Just the right amount of fun.